Hi, I'm Melanie from Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is Adventures in Groceryland. We have been following a $60 weekly budget for two people for the last little bit, and this week we decided to spend our budget, our grocery budget, on a big Epicure order. We have lots of groceries. The pantries are full. There was lots of groceries in the freezer, the fridge. And we're even getting some fresh items out of our garden. So we did a big Epicure order, and I also did a PC Optimum points redemption at Shoppers Drug Mart. They had a bonus redemption, a bonus promotion, that if you redeemed a set amount of points, they would give you extra value. So that's something that I like to do too. I always like to get extra. So take a look at what we did this week. Let me know once the video is done if you approve or disapprove of my choices this week. Two things different this week than normal. I spent my budget on a large Epicure order. This was $63.98. The handsome one had a party, so his host rewards will be coming perhaps next week or the week after, but this week I spent my budget on this. So I got some classic meatloaf. This is new, lemon garlic chicken, cheeseburger pasta. All Epicure is gluten-free, so I'm actually quite excited to try this. Happy birthday cake, too, and ruby red velvet cupcakes. Because my order was over $60, I was able to choose a free item. I chose the crispy and crunchy lettuce wrap, and someone else on the party was over $60 and didn't want their free item, so I was actually able to choose that. That was very nice of them, and it was citrus lime cheesecake. So this is where I spent the bulk of my money. I'm doing a big redemption. You'll see that coming up. But if we need anything, I have lots of points. I have Scene points, I have PC Optimum points, I have fast fuel coupons. So this week, my budget is going to this. Now, one other thing, I'm probably not going to end up, this is probably not going to be the finish of what I have. I'm probably going to do some trades, at least with one of the lemon garlic and one of the cheeseburger pasta. These are brand new items. So I have some friends that love Epicure as well. So we'll probably do a little trade. So I'll end up with a little bit more of a variety. Lunch today is going to be chicken noodle soup for me and Cheetos mac and cheese for the handsome one. This is really old. Got a couple of boxes of these at Bargain Harley's months ago, 88 cents. I'm not a huge fan of the jalapeno flavoring in this, so the handsome one will take care of eating that, and I'll just have some. I added a few little frozen peas in here just to amp up my soup a bit. This works perfect. Lunches for both of us for 2 days. I added a few croutons on top of mine just for some variety. I am going to make lemon garlic chicken. This is a whole chicken that I took out of the freezer. I got, I don't know, a few weeks back. It was marked down to $8.87, and then I got 50% off of that, so that was a crazy buy. I don't know how much I'm going to need. I do use the rotisserie chicken meal solutions sometimes from Epicure, and I get 2 meals out of each one, like coating 2 chickens. So I'm going to open this up and pour it into a container first, just so that I can see how much it is, and see if we can start with half. I mean, I'll use the whole thing, of course, if I need to, but I'd rather start with half and then have the other stuff that I can still use again, as opposed to like just residue on a plate. Then once it's been near the chicken, it has to go in the garbage. There's definitely enough in here to do 2 chickens. I even put some on the inside of the chicken. Looking good so far. This turned out amazing, and I cannot even express how good it smells. I'm excited to try this, really looking forward to that. In the air fryer, there's a little tray to catch all of the drippings from anything, crumbs from anything that you're cooking. But we actually dumped all of the drippings from the chicken into here, and we're going to use it to make gravy. We are making rice-a-roni chicken to go with our lemon garlic chicken. Exciting. I'm going to steam some broccoli, and once this is cooked, I'll put in a cheese slice and let that melt. So we'll have broccoli, cheese, rice, and chicken. For anyone who doesn't make this regularly, don't do what I did before I started, which was add all of the water and the butter into the pan, only to reread the instructions to realize that I was supposed to saute the rice and vermicelli until it got brown before I added the water. So you can see here, I butter all over here because I had to dump everything in and then get the butter back out. We are soon at the point where I'm adding the water. Looking good. I added water to the drippings, of course, flour and water mix to thicken it, but I added sage and I also added savory. Chicken and gravy, chicken rice-a-roni, and broccoli with cheese. We're on our way now to do our points redemption at Shoppers Drug Mart. I have a list, very specific list. But sometimes, even with a list, when you get there, the items you're looking for are not available. So I have a backup list so that I'm not spending a lot of extra time and I know exactly what to go for if some of my items are unavailable. You can see here my list has the prices and some totals on the right because, of course, I want to know what's going to get me right to that total, but not spending a bunch extra. And you can see that I've changed my mind about some things, scratched them out, reconsider, and that I have backup items at the bottom. So here we are at Shoppers. I am doing the bonus event. I am going to spend 50,000 points and get $65 free. This was what I was most worried about, being out of stock, and they have lots. I'm incredibly excited. Woo, 4 peanut butters. Lots of choices of the crackers, 2 for $5. Lots of coffee, but only original roast. I'll admit I'm disappointed. I like the dark. Yay! This is everything that I got for my big redemption. I'm pretty excited about all of this. My grand total came to $68.21. So $67.31 plus tax on the chips, so that was 90 cents. Totaling $68.21. I redeemed 50,000 points to get $50 off. And the promotion that they have on right now is if you redeem 50,000 points for $50, they will give you an extra 15. So this is how we broke it down. The almond milk was on 2 for $5. I got 2. The crackers were on 2 for $5. I got 2 zesty jalapeno Triscuits and Swiss cheese. The coffee was on for $8.99 and I got 2. I would have preferred dark roast, but I like original roast just fine, and I actually like Maxwell House quite a lot. Maxwell House, Folgers, also PC brand, like the store brand. Those are my top 3 that go on sale for a reasonable price that I like. The chips were 2 for $3, so $1.50 each. So I got Ripple, ketchup, barbecue, and sour cream and onion. We're big on peanut butter in this house. 4 more jars. So you can tell that some of these items are for the pantry. This is not for this week's eating. 2 crunchy, 2 smooth, and they were on sale for $3.99, and the jars are 1 kg jars. The cream was on sale for $2.49. I am going to be using that upcoming, mixing with some of the milk that I have, but I'll be using that for Hodgepodge. I still have a lot of Hodgepodge supplies left, and we're right in the the heart of that time of year. We have tons more jalapenos left. We used up all of the bacon in that first batch that we made. Let me rephrase that. We used up all of the thawed bacon that we had left in the last batch that we made. We have lots of bacon in the freezer, but both the Handsome One and I find that it's easier to work with prosciutto when you're making poppers. And they just crisp up a lot better and you don't have to cook them as much as you do the bacon. So this was on for $5.99 and I should have gotten 1,200 bonus points for that, but I didn't. So I'm going to submit a claim for that. And I find they're awesome with claims. I'll just submit that and probably within a couple of days it'll be reviewed and those will hit my account. I got canned mushrooms, 3 for $5. I use mushrooms, canned mushrooms, a lot in things like chili and pasta sauces, sometimes casseroles. So it was a perfect opportunity for me to pick some up that didn't cost me any money. And I got eggs for $3.69. I think this was phenomenal. I'm really excited. And this is the first time that I've done an actual, what I consider a buy in a long time. Lunch, soup, and jalapeno, cheddar, Cheetos, mac and cheese. Hamburgers for supper. I'm going to make coleslaw to go with the burgers. Burgers and coleslaw. Looking really good. Smoothies today. I am going to use some fruit topping that we have in the cupboard. We've never used it before, but I'm going to see what it tastes like. Protein powder, banana, which is frozen. I'm going to have to thaw that a little bit first. Swiss chard from the garden. Look at that. That's from our garden. Isn't that crazy? And some almond milk. And maybe some yogurt. So I got everything in here. We're going to give it a good... Ooh. Make sure everything's closed. Pretty green. This should be filled with all kinds of nutrients for us, straight from my garden. I thought this would be really strong. It was our first time using it. It wasn't, actually. The only ingredient in it is whole wild blueberries, 100% natural, no sugar. But next time, so you can see how much I used right up to there, next time I'd use quite a bit more. Anyways, this was gifted to me, so I'm trying it. And my feedback is I should have used more. Hot chicken sandwiches with home fries, peas, and coleslaw. Trail mix and applesauce for a quick lunch today. We are going to try our hand at cheeseburger pasta for supper. I'm just going to cook the ground beef and the onions in the microwave, but this is a one pot kind of meal, so it's going to end up going on a skillet on the stove. The first thing it asked me to do was to whisk the contents of the packet into 2 cups of hot water and set it aside. I decided to use my big pot. That will work fine as a skillet, and it also has a lid. Just getting this ready for the water to be added. Add 2 tablespoons of ketchup and the reserved broth seasoning. I'm going to give this a really good stir. Well, it does smell like cheeseburgers already. Add 2 cups of bite-size pasta. Oops, dry pasta. Stir and bring to a boil. This seems pretty simple. It's like Hamburger Helper, only not filled with sodium. I'm looking forward to this. I love Hamburger Helper and I miss it a lot. Simmering away. It's looking good. It calls for 1/3 of a cup of milk, and I am just using, oh, I got my container backwards. I am just gonna make some milk to use in my recipe with my skim milk powder. All right, and now adding in 1/3 of a cup of milk and 1 cup of shredded cheese, and we will stir this up and get it nice and melty. This turned out awesome. The recipe calls for the cheeseburger pasta to be topped with lettuce, tomatoes, and diced pickles. I have all of those things, so we are going to top them with this, but I need to save a little bit of the pickles aside for tomorrow night because this is all the pickles we have left. Yummy cheeseburger pasta topped with lettuce, tomatoes, and pickles. Leftover rice-a-roni and apricots for lunch. Cheeseburger pasta for supper again tonight. I'm getting some beans. You can see all along here. I've got some green. I've got some yellow on the other side. Is this looking really good? Like a little jungle. Carrots are here. And what do I see back here? This is crazy. I still have... What in the world? I still have strawberries in the garden. It is September 24th today. Look at those. Wow. I've got peppers. These ones I think are just green peppers. And here as well, some greens. These ones here are chilies. Long chili peppers. Whoa. And these ones are mini jalapenos. I'm a seed saver, so these came from some plants that I had a couple years ago. Tomatoes are coming, nothing ready yet. And there are a lot of bees in the garden. They're everywhere. Look at this, a big old bumblebee. Big one. Woo! Toasted bagel with peanut butter and cherry jam for lunch. All of the ingredients ready to make pizza dough, and I'm often asked what recipe I use, so I thought I would share it right in the video. It is 7 to 8 ounces of water, and I always use 8. 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast, and then I just put it in the bread maker on the dough setting. And I always add the ingredients exactly in the order that they are given, always the liquids first, ending with the yeast. I purchased this sausage, Tuscan style sausage, a few weeks back, maybe even as far back as a month, and I made used half of it to make one pizza. I've got this out of the freezer. We are going to use this with chicken, with the pineapple, and we are going to make some kind of a barbecue chicken sausage pineapple. So sounds kind of Hawaiian type of pizza. We have peppers as well and some other, I think we even have olives. This is looking good so far. I am going to attempt to make garlic fingers like I did last time. And I think last time I did about maybe 2/3 for the pizza and 1/3 for the garlic fingers. Perhaps, something like that. I think there is going to be good. I have the last of the pineapple diced in pizza-sized pieces, and I've got it laid out here in a single layer. Well, mostly in a single layer. I'm going to freeze this, and then once it's frozen, I'll be able to easily break those pieces apart, put them in a freezer bag, so when we want some toppings for pizza, it's not frozen together in one big lump. Okay, everything is starting to come together. I have the butter, the garlic, the parsley, the spread on the garlic fingers. I've got all of the toppings on the pizza except for the cheese. So this is chicken, sausage, pineapple, pepper, jalapenos, onions, and mushrooms. I'm going to get the cheese on and then we are going to get it right in the oven. This turned out really great. Perhaps I left the garlic fingers in a little long, but the pizza's pretty much perfect. Looks amazing, very exciting. I have the carcass of the chicken, bones, the wings, all of that stuff here. I am going to boil this, make broth, get whatever meat that I can off of the bones, and I'm going to make a soup. I'm done simmering this, and now I need to strain out everything but the broth. So I've got this strainer set up in this heat-resistant bowl. We'll see how this works. I'm probably going to make a big mess, but we are going to give this a go. I'm going to then put the broth back in the pot, add some vegetables, and then once the bones and everything kind of cool down a bit, I'll be able to work with them to get some meat off of there and back into the pot. Okay, so this is what we've got. And when I bring this up, that's all of the broth there underneath. The good thing about this strainer is it's got this little lip. So I am going to, see how that is? See how that sits right on top of there? It's going to be tricky, but I am going to try to pour the broth into there because I don't have anywhere else to set that strainer right now. All right, I do have somewhere else to set the strainer. This is going to be much easier now. So this isn't going to be a traditional chicken soup. This is going to be a chicken-based vegetable soup. I'm going to do a fridge clear out. It has been a very long time since I've kind of made a fridge scrap clear out soup. I have cauliflower left from the flash food box. I have lots of carrots. I've got cabbage, coleslaw mix left. I have one red potato from my mother-in-law. I've got onions. I've got some golden beets here. I am just going to put whatever I can scrounge out of there. I'm probably going to go down to the garden and get some Swiss chard to give it a little greenery in there. I've been feeling a bit off this week. Probably eating some processed foods or maybe a bit more processed foods than what I'm used to has an effect on that. So this will be very, very good. I'm excited to have something made just from this, plus also to clear out the fridge. Hopefully you guys can tell how much chicken, that whole little, that's all chicken. Plus there's all kinds of other chicken that I've already put in here. This is turning out to be quite a nice, thick soup. I am going to head down to the garden and bring some Swiss chard back. This is going to continue simmering. I'll get some of this Swiss chard, some of the big pieces, and maybe one of the ruby reds as well. There's the ruby reds. Look at this. This is crazy. I'll get these all cut up and add all these fresh greens in, and then the soup will be pretty much ready to go. And let's get this all stirred in. Doesn't take long to cook greens, so it won't take long. It smells quite good. This looks great. Soup, chicken, vegetable soup. The onions are ready to pick. My little pieces of pineapple have frozen. I am storing them in this little silicone bag, and I'm going to pop them right back into the freezer. And they're great. They are individually frozen so that I can take them out without it having to be like a whole clump, or I have to defrost the whole thing. We are going to have chicken tenders, baked chicken tenders in the air fryer, and use up the last of the, or at least the majority of the romaine lettuce with some tomatoes and cucumbers. And what else do I have? Tomatoes, cucumbers. Maybe that's it for the salad. I'm gonna have to look. Chicken tenders and garden salad for supper. So we had a great week of meals. It's been a while since we cooked a whole chicken. So from that whole chicken, we got 2 chicken meals. So it was like a chicken dinner, and then we got hot chicken sandwiches. We had chicken pizza. I made chicken soup, and We have put some in the freezer because we have a plan for a meal next week. I'm thinking Friday or Saturday night, and it also involves chicken. So chickens can be a really wonderful value. If I see them on sale, even if I'm already at my budget, if it is an incredible price, I do like to pick things like that up to put in the freezer for future use. That's just smart shopping. Thanks for tuning in this week. Like the video, share the video. You may be watching this on our YouTube channel. You may be watching this on our Facebook page. Either way, let us know where you're watching from and what tips you enjoy the most. Have a great weekend, everybody.